welcome to AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. It is I, Aubrey Edwards, along with you, Wil Washington.
That's me.
And it's you. And then I mean, it's Thursday, but it's also pay-per-view week, which is the most exciting time in AEW.
Isn't
we
it?
have so many pay-per-views throughout the year, but each one just feels so special, right? And I'm excited because, as you guys know, this podcast is presented by Upper Deck. You can collect your favorite wrestlers of 2024, Upper Deck AEW, and start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autograph memorabilia and premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. And honestly, I'm excited because we have so many cool matches on this card, and we have so many cool Upper Deck cards that match and show off how wonderful our talent are.
Yeah.
So first up,
although I pulled, of all people, Ian Riccaboni, talking about people from Pennsylvania.
Right?
So I thought that was an interesting one to have just pulled right now.
I mean, Riccaboni's one of those guys that every time I see him at TV, I'm like, yes. Like he's a good locker room guy on top of just being an incredible commentator. So we have to start. I randomly pulled, actually random, not like predetermined. I actually randomly pulled a Daniel Garcia AEW card from the Allure set for Upper Deck. So why don't we start by talking about the TNT Championship that's going to be defended this Sunday, April 6th at Dynasty. Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole have, they've seen each other in the ring multiple times. We saw the first match on, I think it was the March 1st Collision, ended with Shane Taylor Promotions getting involved. And then our second match, Slam Dunk Collision, had a 20-minute time limit. So it's finally here. There is no time limit, no one at ringside. Daniel Garcia defending the TNT Championship against Adam Cole. I am stoked to see this match. Daniel Garcia is one of our amazing rising stars at AEW. He is just an absolutely incredible human being. He knows how to connect with the crowd. Just seeing him even put his arms up, he doesn't even have to do the dance, but people are behind him. But also you have Adam Cole, who is a phenomenal wrestler who has been all across the world, done amazing things in multiple different companies, has held gold everywhere. And now he's having a third chance to take on Daniel Garcia and potentially take home from Philly, I think actually where Adam Cole is from initially, take home and enjoy the TNT Championship.
Man, I am so excited for this match. I've told Danny personally, but honestly, just the way Daniel Garcia has stepped up as TNT champion, I think is something to be commended. He won the title back at Full Gear from Jack Perry, and he immediately threw himself into the Continental Classic. As soon as that was over, it was like Garcia is all about making his mark, I should say, as the TNT champion, and defending it night in, night out, defending it on TNT. He has been tearing it up on Collision and making sure that this championship is what the TNT championship to be. Adam Cole, on the other hand, Adam Cole has been on a mission to silence his doubters. And I think ever since reuniting with the Undisputed Kingdom, I think he's been doing that quite a bit. And seeing him in the ring with Daniel Garcia these last couple of times, the two of them have torn the house down each time. And to now know that these guys are going to go one-on-one with no time limits, no interference, there is going to be a winner. It is hard to pick exactly who that's going to be. It could be Adam Cole, baby, as Aubrey just showed us. But Daniel Garcia's got a lot to prove. He knows that this title reign is just getting started as far as he's concerned. He's not planning on losing it anytime soon. I am so looking forward to this match. Again, like I said, these guys have been just tearing it up together. And again, knowing that it's going to be no time limits, no interference, it's going to be great.
Right. I love when, it's one of my favorite things about pay-per-views is just eliminating the restrictions. Like, one of the things that's always interesting about TV is seeing the confines that we have to work within to get from one commercial to the next. And it's great to have this freedom, but it's also a limiting factor. The things I love about pay-per-views is that is removed. That as a referee, it's great because I only have one number I have to tell people. But as a fan, you have these matches that are completely uninterrupted, that are going to be excellent. You're going to feel the highs and the lows, the entire way through, and I'm so stoked. We also have so many more matches on this card, so let's just get right to it, man. We've got the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We've got the Hurt Syndicate, which is they're absolutely phenomenal, absolutely just so freaking scary. Like they dress really nice, and then you're like, oh wait, no, that's just a cover up for how much they're going to absolutely destroy you if you cross one of these guys. And they are taking on Big Bill and Brian Keith of the Learning Tree. Big Bill and Brian Keith challenged for the match after Jericho gave them an ultimatum to prove themselves. I mean, I don't know if that's enough motivation to get the W or not, but I mean, in my mind, Jericho has done an incredible thing for Big Bill and Brian Keith. It's been awesome to see these two guys, either if it's in trios action or if it's in tag team action. Seeing both of these guys more on TV has made me so proud of each of them. So them getting this opportunity on pay-per-view to take on the Hurt Syndicate, I think it's really great for them. And I'm really excited to see where this match goes.
I am quite excited for this as well. I think Big Bill made some solid points about the fact that he did not lose the tag team titles. He did not get a rematch after his last opportunity for the tag titles. And he is ready to recapture them this time with the Bad Apple Brian Keith. And but of course, the Hurt Syndicate. It's in the name. It's what they do.
They hurt people.
They hurt people. The fans know it. And they sing along with it every chance they get. I think these guys are just getting started as far as dominating this tag team division and knowing what's ahead on the tag team horizon. I don't know that Big Bill and Brian Keith necessarily have the tag team pedigree to take on a team the magnitude of the Hurt Syndicate. I hope they do, because I love Brian Keith. We've talked to him on this show. Love Big Bill. But
who
again,
doesn't love Big Bill?
I know, Big
Large
Bill.
William,
Yes.
as he's frequently called backstage.
Large William, yes. And he and I talk basketball quite a bit. He's a massive Knicks fan. And he always gives the Nuggets their due. So therefore, he's
why
very
you guys are
realistic.
buddies.
Yeah, exactly. I love talking basketball with Big Bill. That said, I also know the Hurt Syndicate quite well. And I also know that they aren't willing to let go of those tag team titles anytime soon.
No, I mean, we look at championships, and whenever someone wins them, they're like, I'm going to hold this forever. Hurt Syndicate are those guys that I look at them and go, no, these guys might be the last champions of the AEW World Tag Team Championships, because it's like they're so incredible in the ring. They're so just dedicated to completely demolishing the competition. This is going to be a fantastic match this Sunday, Philly, Pennsylvania, the Liacouras Center. We've got one more match to talk about before we take a quick break. This one's going to be really, really interesting. We have the AEW World Trios Championship. We have the Death Riders, the champions, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac versus Rated FTR, Cope, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. And this is going to be really, really exciting, because the last time we saw Cope, we literally saw him throw Jon Moxley on Spike, this piece of wood with the nails in it. It got stuck in his skin. It was gross. It's one of those things that, like, it's a thing of nightmares where you're never going to forget, because like it's nasty. And shout out to Paul Turner for pulling that out. But oh my God. So we've seen Cope have that energy of he will go after anyone at all costs and do whatever he possibly can to fight these people. And I'm so happy that when he came back in Asheville, that he's teaming with FTR, an incredible tag team, arguably one of the best tag teams in all of wrestling. But we see the incredible Death Riders, Claudio, Wheeler, and Pac. They have been unstoppable. They are a cohesive team. The Death Riders, even though, we saw them kind of split up a little bit leading up to Revolution, they're back together. They're strong. They've got Marina. They've got Jon Moxley backing everybody up. This is going to be,
I mean, we've seen some dissension here between Cash and Dax.
That's true. That's true.
Those guys are like brothers. They're fairly inseparable, no matter whether you're seeing them behind the scenes or in front of the camera. They are they've been joined at the hip since entering AEW, and before then as a tag team. And knowing that they're not on the same page could work in the Death Riders' favor, but at the same time, you want to see a team fired up. I think, Cope has that ability to hire up his close friends in FTR. This one is another one that could go either way. The Death Riders don't exactly believe in presenting championships and us seeing them physically. And I know that is a thing that doesn't exactly sit well with those in the locker room. We've on occasion seen those trios championships. And I think Rated FTR is ready to show them to the world again. We've seen FTR in a number of different trios over the years prior to this. We've seen him tag with multiple stars, but it feels like Cope is the one that they share a true magnetic bond with. And as long as those three can all stay on the same page, they stand a chance at becoming the AEW World Trios Champions.
Absolutely. I mean, what is it, 7-star FTR? Let's throw another 8-star on there, right? It's inevitable that these guys are going to win more gold. It's just a matter of, is it going to be this Sunday at the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Again, you can get your tickets, AEWTix.com. We hit it out of the park every time there's a pay-per-view. So if you're able to make it, you definitely don't want to miss it. If you can't be there, you can watch it traditional pay-per-view, Triller TV, YouTube, and Prime Video. Definitely check it out. We've got more coming up here on AEW Unrestricted. So stay tuned to our AEW Dynasty preview episode. It's AEW Unrestricted, and as per tradition, the week of a pay-per-view, we are previewing the amazing pay-per-view that's coming this weekend, AEW Dynasty. You can watch it on Triller TV, YouTube, traditional pay-per-view, Prime Video. You can catch it live at the Liacouras Center in Philly, Pennsylvania, AEWTix.com. Just as a reminder, we've got Speedball Mike Bailey coming on the next segment on the show to talk about the amazing match that's coming up for the AEW International Championship between him, Kenny Omega, and that bald guy, Ricochet. So stay tuned for that. But before we get there, there's a couple more matches we got to talk about. And I cannot have, I am over the moon. I was already over the moon with Toni Storm. But after the excellent title defense at Revolution that I think will go down in history as one of the best matches of all time, to see Toni Storm retain the AEW Women's Championship in the Hollywood ending was just so absolutely phenomenal. And then coming out of that, she's immediately sort of put on notice by this beast of a individual, Megan Bayne, who is just strong and silent and oh so very scary.
Yes, Megan Bayne has, I think, since she debuted in the Women's Casino Gauntlet, she has just taken AEW, no pun intended, by storm. Or she's taking the storm out of AEW, who knows? But she has been, she has just been dominant since she came in. She is incredibly impressive. She is, like you mentioned, scary as hell. And the silence just adds so much more to it. She has, of course, been tied at the hip to Penelope Ford as well. And knowing that factor exists could kind of spell doom for Toni Storm. We've seen incredibly fast rises in professional wrestling history. And a big part of what creates those fast rises is dominance. When you can come in and dominate physically and show off your physical prowess, that usually leads to pretty quick success in professional wrestling. And to know that Megan Bayne has come in and done just that, she has just dominated everybody in her path. And now she's already got an opportunity at the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm is arguably one of the greatest women's champions of all time. She's certainly got the numbers to back that up. She's a 4-time champion. But there's anybody...
But remember... Megan Bayne pinned Toni Storm on Dynamite.
She did.
Yes, it was a tag match. Yes, it was Thunder Tits versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. But we saw Megan Bayne pin Toni Storm, which I was in the ring for it, and I heard the crowd just audibly gasp.
Yeah. Because
this is our champion. And to see Megan Bayne just simply pin her, it's, oh my God, it's... I literally have no idea what's going to happen this weekend. Also, just shout out to our production team. Tony Storm opened Dynamite a couple weeks ago in this incredible Rosie the Riveter outfit. Collision. Yes, Collision. Yes. Sorry. I never know if it's Wednesday or Saturday, but either way, it's AEW programming, so you know it's going to be great. But it was Collision, and she has this amazing Rosie the Riveter outfit, and she's doing this eloquent soliloquy while laying flat on her back. She stands up, steps into the spotlight, and then we just see Penelope Ford's foot take her out.
Yeah.
And that was so beautifully shot. And to see Toni be able to give these promos week after week, and all of this prose is so elegant. And then to see us kind of change it up and continually see her grow and see these segments grow and change and be ever so interesting and fascinating. It's definitely like must tune in TV. So I'm super pumped for this match this weekend. I hope I get it, fingers crossed, because it's going to be a great one.
Well, speaking of matches that we know you'll get, let's talk about the ROH World Championship on the line, but not just the ROH World title on the line, because this is a title versus mask match. Chris Jericho defending the ROH World title against Bandido, whose mask will be on the line. Chris Jericho has made a career of scenarios like this. We've seen Jericho take masks. We've seen Jericho put titles on the line against masks. Jericho has definitely not exactly been the most respectful of luchador cultures in history.
No.
And we saw just last month on the Revolution Zero Hour, him take Bandido's brother's mask. We saw Gravity have his mask taken. You were right there with Gravity and Bandido's mother.
Terribly sad. Terribly sad.
And knowing that Jericho has made a career out of doing just this very thing, just ask Juventud. Bandido could be in a world of trouble. And we also are looking at the fact that Chris Jericho has honestly, this last couple of months, really stepped up in this ROH World title reign. And we're really seeing a side of Chris Jericho that I think fans have been wanting to see for a while. And we're seeing this more aggressive side of Chris Jericho. We're seeing this more dastardly side of Chris Jericho. And it's a Jericho that I think we always knew was in there. But knowing that kind of the facade that he had been putting on as the learning tree, as somebody that you kind of knew was being disingenuous, and you knew that real Chris Jericho was deep down still in there. And we've really seen it coming out these last couple of months. Him holding on to this ROH World Championship makes sense, but at the same time, and granted, Bandido is a beautiful man.
Beautiful man. So if he loses that mask, I mean, like, it's ultimately not the worst thing in the world.
That's what I was gonna say. But Bandido is also one of the best luchadors in the
hands down.
Yes, in ROH's history, in AEW. He has done so much phenomenal work, and a big part of his identity is that mask. And if he's gonna lose it, you do not want to see him lose it this way. And Bandido, also a former ROH World Champion himself, looking to get that belt back one more time.
Absolutely. Like we've seen Chris Jericho and Bandido before. During Chris Jericho's first title reign as ROH champion, we saw him face previous ROH champions. We saw him face Bandido. We saw him face Dalton Castle and a number of other champions in the past. And seeing Bandido and Chris Jericho, that was sort of the AEW fan base's introduction to Bandido and how strong he is and how nimble he is and how much charisma he has. One of my absolute favorite moments being in the ring with Bandido was seeing him at Grand Slam Australia, where he's dancing on Jericho's back and then steps off and goes, "Ole." And it was so great and wonderful. Yeah. And that's what I love about these opportunities. We get to see these amazing wrestlers that have done incredible things on the biggest stage that they've been on. This is awesome. And I like exactly like you said, like we've seen this side of Jericho before, but we're finally seeing it in this sort of learning tree iteration. It's one of the things that makes Jericho great. He's constantly reinventing himself. And it's not just necessarily going from one sort of persona to another, but it's seeing the growth and change within that persona and how it changes based on the opponents that he's facing. So not only do we see this sort of hard emotional match that's happening, because like we saw Bandido's family cry. Like it was so sad and so terrible and awful. We saw Bandido's mask ripped off. It's this incredibly emotional moment and disrespectful in luchador culture. But to see Jericho really sort of turn it up a notch and really, really come after Bandido and everything that he holds dear to him, I'm excited to ref this match this weekend. It's going to be a really, really good one.
Gonna be a hoot.
Speaking of hoot, I'm so excited that we're getting closer to Owen season. The Owen Hart Cup Championship is always such an incredible thing that we do at AEW. We've done it twice now. This will be the third time we're doing it. And the brackets recently just got announced. Oh, buddy, it is going to be an exciting tournament. We've seen everyone come out of the Owen. We saw last year Mariah May turn on Toni Storm at the end of the Owen, and then eventually go on to win the AEW Women's World Championship at All In London. So the Owen is quite literally the thing that sets in motion what is happening in AEW and builds sort of that excitement for everything that we have coming up this summer, like All In Texas, which, by the way, if you're not going to, change your plans because you should definitely be there. It's going to be one hell of a show this coming summer, July 12th. As you know, and as we're talking about here, pay-per-views are absolutely incredible and they can't miss.
Yeah, and honestly, you talked about Mariah May winning last year, Bryan Danielson winning last year, and going on to the main event of All In. And this year, like, the field is just so stacked. And knowing that we get to kick it off at Dynasty, and we get to take it through all the way, and getting our title contenders, knowing that they're going to go on to All In Texas, and challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship and the World Championship. I'm so excited for this tournament. The tournament has always delivered in a big way. I think it is one of the tentpole tournaments of AEW, and knowing that now we have stacked the field so hard, and knowing that any one of these men and women going on to challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship or the World Championship is monumental. Like, thinking about, we saw Mercedes put her name in the hat last week on Collision, and knowing that she could add another belt to her collection. But then we saw Chris Statlander add her name as well, and Chris Statlander is somebody that we've wanted to see hold the AEW Women's World Championship. And Jamie Hayter is somebody that also has been beelining for that AEW World Championship, and knowing that it is now possibly in her sights again could be huge. But then Athena comes about and wants to be a part of all of this, and we've got Hangman Adam Page, and we've got Will Ospreay. Like, the whole field is just greater than it's ever been. And knowing what's on the line here and where they could end up, I'm just so excited for this.
The only thing we know how to do better than pay-per-views is tournaments. So it's one of those times where, like, summer's always really exciting at AEW just because we do have the Owen coming up, and I am stoked. As a reminder, we've got Speedball Mike Bailey coming up next on the podcast to talk about his upcoming match this weekend, which is a dream match for him, but also Ricochet's there. The AEW International Championship match. It's a three-way between Kenny Omega and Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey this Sunday. You can catch it live. Remember, you can watch the pay-per-view Triller TV, YouTube traditional pay-per-view, Prime Video, and if you can be there live this Sunday at the Liacouras Center in Philly, Pennsylvania, AEWTix.com. It is going to be one hell of a show. You don't want to miss it.
AEW Unrestricted. It's Aubrey and Will. We're talking about Dynasty, which is happening this Sunday, Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You'll want to be there April 6th. Tickets are on sale, AEWTix.com. You can watch it on traditional pay-per-view, stream it on Triller, YouTube, and of course on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
But we've been talking about it all show. We are currently joined by one of the challengers for the International Championship. He will be taking on Ricochet and the AEW International Champion, Kenny Omega, in a three-way. It is the one and only Speedball Mike Bailey.
Speedball.
Thank you for being here on AEW Unrestricted. And what a way to make your way into AEW, challenging Kenny Omega for the AEW International Championship. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on with you and how you're feeling going into this match this Sunday.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited for Dynasty. It's coming so incredibly fast. And it feels like I just barely am getting started with AEW, and already I am getting this insane match of Dynasty, a complete dream match with Ricochet also there. But as I talked about at length, right, as it has been very clear for many years. I mean, I named my one of my finishers, Shooting Star Double Knee Drop, the Ultimate Weapon, after Kenny Omega. That match with Kenny Omega is one that I've wanted for over 10 years at this point, a rematch from the singles match that we had at PWG in 2015. It completely changed my career, and now I'm finally getting this match, and Ricochet's also there, which is a huge bummer, but still,
well,
it's a huge opportunity. I mean, so early in my AEW tenure to get the chance to capture the International Championship would be the biggest thing ever. It would absolutely change my life and career, so I couldn't be more excited. And also, obviously, I mean, I am the biggest pro wrestling fan in the world. I love pro wrestling. I've watched every single AEW live event, and it's been very difficult for me to like kind of prepare for my own match. But also, I'm still very excited to watch the rest of the card, and how that develops has been absolutely fantastic.
Well, I want to talk to you about the aforementioned bummer, because Ricochet has made it his goal. He has talked about it time and time again. He is after gold in AEW by any means. And of course, he didn't necessarily pull off becoming number one contender at Revolution last month when he lost to Swerve, and before that he had of course faced off with Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Championship for a chance at that. And so Ricochet is hungry for gold, and knowing that this is another opportunity at it, he's got to be hungrier than he was before. Do you not feel that he could be a spoke in the wheel that is the desire to see Speedball Mike Bailey and Kenny Omega?
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with I guess Ricochet, but also your assessment of it. I think you're listening to his words and not looking at his actions, which it clearly seems to me that his priority is just straight up trolling. And he is way more interested in that than in actually winning championship, because he is one of the best wrestlers in AEW, one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he's had several chances. And with the talent that he has, I mean, he came so close to defeating Swerve Strickland at Revolution, but he didn't, because I think he got caught up in his own antics, his own ulterior motives beyond winning professional wrestling matches. So honestly, when I look at this match, I think it's like my strategy is really me versus Kenny Omega, and I don't know that Ricochet in earnest. I mean, I'm sure he tells himself he's going to try to win and become international champion, but really he's more going to try to, I don't know, stop me and Kenny from winning. I think everyone who watches being disappointed by the ending of the match is a bigger priority for Ricochet than winning the championship himself.
How does it feel to be one of two people who have actual majestic hair in the match as opposed to being bald?
So again, it feels great. I refuse. I take the higher ground, and I don't want to attack Ricochet for being bald, because there are lots of extremely attractive bald people in the world. Men, women, everything in between. A lot of people I know look amazing bald. And I'm actually proud of him for making the choice, because he used to have long, luscious
really
hair.
Majestic hair.
It's incredible. You wouldn't think it by looking at him, but you know, and a lot of people would have just hung on to that, but no, he went bald, and I commend him for that. Though I think Kenny Omega and the evolution of his hair throughout the years needs to be studied. The colors, the mullets, the braids. And I feel like for this match, I'm going to need to step it up and do something even crazier with my own mullet.
So one of the things I want to ask you about is the International Championship itself. You are, for the average wrestling fan, I'd say, considered to be one of Canada's greatest exports. And one of the things that the International Championship has had from a lineage standpoint, is a host of international flavor. We had Pac, who was the first champion. We've had again Konosuke Takeshita is another great example. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, guys from all across the globe have held this championship. But a big piece of what they've brought to the championship is the fact that they've taken it around the globe with them. We've seen it defended all over the world. So when I ask you, Speedball Mike Bailey, if you walk away with this championship this Sunday, what goals do you have with the International Championship to take it to the next level?
I am someone who has traveled the world already before I joined AEW, and I think getting the International Championship, getting to take that around the world would be a great opportunity to complete a lot of unfinished business that I have with people like El Desperado in New Japan, with people like Titan in CMLL, and I could definitely see myself taking it to many new great countries that the world isn't even aware have a pro wrestling scene. I mean, I know a lot of great professional wrestlers in Brazil and in Thailand and in Chile, in Spain, in France, who would deserve a shot and would gain a lot if they could earn it from fighting someone like Speedball Mike Bailey for the International Championship.
Hell yeah.
What a beautiful answer. That is the answer I wanted to hear.
Yes. Oh, I love it so much. I'm so excited to watch
Chile
this match.
is cheering you on now because they're going to get to see
and Brazil.
Getting to see the International Championship.
They're just sitting there waiting with their popcorn like, we need this guy to win because we want to see this title on our land. It's going to be awesome. Oh, I'm so excited.
I mean, absolutely. Like, if you know my career and my story, right, being born in Canada and being a Canadian citizen literally shut a lot of doors for me when it comes to pro wrestling. So I think that having that championship would be a great chance to, you know, kind of help level the playing field and give people around the world who don't have the same opportunity when it comes to pro wrestling as people who are born in America. I think that would be the best thing that I could do as an international champion.
Oh man, I love that like Speedball is trying to like make wrestling better all over the entire world. So I'm not going to say like, okay, so if I don't have this match, I can be a little bit more biased, right? Because you know, I'm official. I try to take my job seriously, but I'm pulling for Mike Bailey just because I know that the opportunities that are there and the opportunities that he's taken have like, he's just taken the ball and run with it already in just the short time he's been with AEW, but we've seen him do this his entire career. And as a little bit of a spoiler, if you want to know more about Mike Bailey, we actually have him coming up next week on the podcast to tell us about his AEW journey, which involved a 5-year ban from wrestling in the US, along with all these matches around the world. So you definitely want to tune in, and you want to tune in this Sunday to AEW Dynasty live from Philly. Watch Mike Bailey take on Kenny Omega and Ricochet in the International Championship match. Thank you so much for being here today, Speedball.
Thank you guys for having me. Super pumped for Dynasty. Thank you all so much.
Such an awesome conversation with Mike Bailey. I'm excited for the AEW fans to learn more about him in next week's episode, but I'm also excited to see him battle it out with Kenny Omega and also Ricochet at AEW Dynasty. But we cannot finish this podcast without talking about one of the biggest matches in the card. We have the most dangerous man in AEW, Swerve Strickland, versus the most despicable man, Jon Moxley, for the AEW World Championship.
This is, I think, one fans have been asking about for a very long time, pretty much since Moxley's reign began. I think, you know, Swerve mentioned it in his promo on Moxley last week that, you know, people have been asking, why aren't you going back for the world title? And here we are. He's finally face-to-face with Jon Moxley, Philadelphia. These two faced off once before in the Continental Classic back in 2023. And that's pretty much the only time we've seen these two go one-on-one. They've been involved in the ring with each other since then, as we've seen this week. But we're finally getting to see them go one-on-one for the AEW World Championship. That championship has been locked away in a briefcase for the last 6 months nearly.
I don't even remember what it looks like.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that is a goal of Swerve Strickland's when he talks about the fact that he paraded this championship everywhere while he was world champion. You know, he did interviews, he did red carpets, he did appearances. He did meet and greets, and that championship was present everywhere he went. He shot a music video with the championship popped out of the back of the trunk. Like, that championship was visible with Swerve Strickland, and to him, he sees it as a complete sign of disrespect for the championship to see it locked away the way it's been. And a lot of the guys in the back see it that way. And to have the opportunity this Sunday, Philadelphia, the Liacouras Center is a building that we're extremely familiar with as AEW. We've been there many times, and it's always a great crowd. And for this crowd to get to see this World Championship match, 1 year removed from the last Dynasty, where Swerve defeated Samoa Joe and walked away as the AEW World Champion, he has the opportunity to do that one more time. Jon Moxley's going to do whatever he can to hold on to this championship. We've seen that.
100%. Like, we've seen that. Moxley's got a great crew of people behind him that support him. And I mean, you said it yourself, like, Swerve won the title at Dynasty last year. We've only had one pay-per-view for Dynasty, but it is, in my mind, synonymous with Swerve because it was such an incredible moment to see Swerve Strickland finally become the first African-American world champion that we've had in AEW. And he is such a fantastic representative for our company. Like, people talk about how, like, Hangman's the main character of AEW, but I think Swerve Strickland's kind of filling into that role. He's one of, like, I mean, the word gets used a lot, but he is like a pillar of AEW. He's going around, even before he was a champion, he was going around and doing interviews, showing up to places a couple days early just to make sure that he could support AEW and talk about it to, the best of his abilities as a representative. And I think that that's the thing that stands out to me most coming into this match is Jon Moxley kind of came into this role with the Death Riders as he's going to bring AEW back to what it was, right? But I feel like Swerve Strickland is actually the person that is fighting for what AEW means, for, it's where the best wrestle. And I see Swerve Strickland as being a good representative of that. Now, Jon Moxley, we saw take a freaking bat with nails in it to the back. So I have no idea what to expect from him. He's a crazy dude. But, like, oh man, this match is going to be absolutely crazy. It's we know, especially after coming off the heels of AEW Revolution, that AEW pay-per-views are can't miss. The last one had multiple 5-star matches. It had incredible storylines. It had incredible just feats of physicality. And AEW Dynasty is setting up to be exactly that. So make sure, if you can't see it this Sunday live, Sunday, April 6th at the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, that you get your tickets, AEWTix.com. But if you can't, watch it traditional pay-per-view, stream it on Triller and YouTube, and of course, Prime Video. So excited. The amount of friends that watched it on Prime Video, watched Revolution on Prime Video, is so great. And I love that we're on that platform as well now. So watch it. You are not going to be disappointed. You might even see history take place. Who knows? I'm so excited. I always get super pumped around pay-per-views. But we need to remind everyone that AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. You can collect your favorite wrestlers in the 2024 Upper Deck AEW. Start your trading card collection today. You can unwrap autographed memorabilia, premium tech inserts. You can visit upperdeck.com to learn more. You can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you get your podcast. We're on all the fun apps. Check out the new episodes every Thursday, and then check out the video episodes on our YouTube channel, AEW Unrestricted. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. You can see our beautiful faces and see all these beautiful shiny cards that we show everybody. And are you an AEW insider? Because I am. I get early access, and you can too, to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up, AEWTix.com. You're already going to be there because you're buying tickets to AEW Dynasty. Also, don't forget Dynamite TBS Wednesdays live, 8 p.m. We also stream on Max in high fidelity, and AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I'm Aubrey Edwards, along with Wil Washington. We'll both be in Philly, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening to AEW Unrestricted.